Lena Carter stared at the elegant ivory envelope trembling in her hands. The gold letters spelled a name she never thought she would see again. Ethan Carter. Her ex-husband. Her heart tightened as she read the words again. You are cordially invited to the wedding of Ethan Carter and Vanessa Blake. A bitter smile touched her lips. After everything, he had actually sent her an invitation. Outside her small apartment window, rain tapped gently against the glass. Lena placed a hand on her growing belly, feeling the faint movement inside. 6 months pregnant. Ethan didn't even know. Or maybe he didn't care. Their divorce had been brutal. Ethan had once been charming, ambitious, the kind of man who could walk into a room and make everyone believe in him. Lena had fallen deeply in love with that version of him. But fame and money changed people. As Ethan's business grew, so did his arrogance. Late nights turned into lies. Business trips turned into rumors. And finally, one night, Lena discovered the truth. Vanessa Blake, a glamorous model with a dazzling smile and millions of followers. When Lena confronted Ethan, he didn't even try to deny it. Instead, he said something she would never forget. You're holding me back, Lena. Those words had shattered her. The divorce came quickly. Ethan walked away with most of the wealth and the house they built together. And Lena walked away with something he didn't know about yet. Their child. Now she stared at the wedding invitation again. Why would he invite her? Was it guilt? Or humiliation? Her best friend Maya snatched the card from her hands. You are not going to that wedding. Lena sighed. I need closure. Maya looked at her stomach. You're pregnant, Lena. The last thing you need is drama. But Lena had already made up her mind. For months she had hidden from the world, hiding her pregnancy, hiding her pain. Tonight she wouldn't hide anymore. I'm going, she said softly. Maya crossed her arms. Then I'm coming with you. The wedding venue was a massive, luxury hotel ballroom, glowing with crystal chandeliers. Celebrities, businessmen, influencers, everyone important seemed to be there. And then Lena walked in. The room went quiet. Not because she was famous, but because she looked radiant. She wore a simple, flowing blue maternity dress that hugged her stomach gently. Her hair fell in soft curls over her shoulders. She looked peaceful, stronger. But across the room, Ethan saw her, and his face darkened. Vanessa leaned toward him. Isn't that your ex? Ethan forced a tight smile. Yeah. Vanessa's eyes scanned Lena's belly. Oh wow, pregnant too. Ethan frowned. He hadn't noticed yet, but something inside him suddenly twisted. He quickly pushed the thought away. Tonight was about him, and he wasn't going to let Lena ruin it. The ceremony ended beautifully. Applause filled the room. Champagne glasses clinked. Music played softly. Lena quietly stood near the back, preparing to leave. She had seen enough. But just as she turned toward the exit, Ethan's voice echoed across the microphone. Lena Carter. The entire room froze. Her heart sank. Slowly, she turned around. Ethan smirked. Why are you leaving so early? You came all this way. Guests began whispering. Phones started recording. Lena felt Maya squeeze her hand. But Ethan wasn't finished. He walked down from the stage, his expression cruel and theatrical. I just thought everyone should meet my ex-wife. People shifted uncomfortably. Ethan circled her slowly. She always loved attention. Lena stayed silent, but Ethan's smile grew colder. And apparently she loves drama too. Suddenly he grabbed the fabric of her dress. Before anyone could react. Rip. Gasps exploded across the ballroom. The fabric tore loudly down the side. Lena staggered backward, clutching the torn dress as people stared in shock. Someone screamed. Vanessa looked horrified. Ethan raised his hands dramatically. Oops. Humiliation burned through Lena's chest. Tears threatened to fall. But then, something unexpected happened. She slowly lifted her head and smiled. The entire ballroom held its breath. Phones were still recording. Some guests looked angry. Others looked uncomfortable. But Lena simply stood there calmly. Her torn dress revealed the unmistakable curve of her pregnancy. Whispers erupted across the room. She's pregnant. Oh my God. Ethan frowned. He hadn't noticed before. Now his eyes widened. Wait. His voice suddenly sounded uncertain. Lena placed both hands on her stomach and spoke calmly. Ethan, I was going to leave quietly. The room fell silent. But since you wanted everyone's attention. She took a slow breath. I guess they deserve to know the truth. Ethan's smile vanished. What are you talking about? Lena looked him directly in the eyes. This baby. She paused. The silence felt like thunder. Is yours? Gasps filled the ballroom. Vanessa stepped backward in shock. Ethan looked like someone had punched him. What? Lena's voice stayed steady. I found out I was pregnant 2 weeks after you left. His face went pale. You're lying. Lena shook her head gently. No. I just chose not to tell you. Someone in the crowd whispered. He humiliated the mother of his child. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Now the whispers were about him. Ethan's confidence cracked. You expect me to believe that? Lena met his gaze without anger. You don't have to believe anything. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small envelope. Inside was a medical report. She handed it to him. Ethan opened it slowly. His hands trembled. The date confirmed everything. The baby had been conceived before the divorce. Vanessa grabbed the paper and read it. Her expression turned icy. You told me she was lying about everything. Ethan looked stunned. I didn't know. Lena's voice softened. And that's why I didn't come here to embarrass you. She gestured around the room. You did that yourself. A few guests actually nodded. The room was no longer on Ethan's side. Vanessa stepped away from Ethan. Her heels clicked sharply against the marble floor. You ripped the dress of a pregnant woman. Ethan looked desperate. It was a joke. A joke. Vanessa laughed bitterly. Congratulations, Ethan. Your wedding just turned into a scandal. Several journalists in the room were already typing on their phones. Cameras flashed. Headlines were being written in real time. Ethan looked around nervously. Lena, say something. But Lena was done protecting him. For years she had stayed quiet. Not tonight. She calmly picked up the microphone he had dropped earlier. Her voice echoed across the ballroom. I didn't come here to destroy anyone. Her hand rested on her stomach. I came because I wanted to let go of the past. She looked at Ethan one last time. But thank you. The room watched closely. For reminding me why leaving you was the best decision I ever made. Applause broke out. Real applause. Ethan's humiliation was complete. Just as Lena prepared to leave, an older man stood from one of the front tables. He wore a dark-tailored suit and carried an aura of quiet authority. Ethan. The room turned. Everyone recognized him instantly. Richard Carter. Ethan's father. The founder of the billion-dollar Carter Industries. He walked slowly toward Lena. Ethan looked terrified. Dad. Richard ignored him. Instead, he removed his jacket and gently placed it over Lena's shoulders. His voice was calm. You don't deserve this humiliation. Lena blinked in surprise. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Richard looked deeply ashamed. You didn't. Then he turned to Ethan. But you did. The disappointment in his voice cut deeper than anger. 6 months later, Lena sat in a quiet hospital room holding a newborn baby boy. The door opened softly. Richard Carter stepped inside carrying flowers. How is my grandson? Lena smiled tiredly. He's perfect. Ethan stood awkwardly behind his father. He looked different now. Humbled. Ashamed. I'm sorry, Lena. She looked at him calmly. I know. He swallowed hard. I want to be a better father. Lena didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked down at her son. Finally, she said something simple. Then start by being a better man. Richard smiled quietly. Because the woman Ethan tried to humiliate had done something far greater. She had shown strength, grace, and dignity. And sometimes, those are the things that change lives forever.